Okay, we are on 2-3.
Wait, what happened to 2-2?
We did 2-2. I never, it was all the table and stuff, that was all 2-2. The table and the unit circle were all 2-2. I didn't label it correctly. But 2-3 is all about finding trig values. I should say approximate trig values. Because what we just did was exact trig values. Your circle is all exact. So finding approximate trig values with a calculator. Oops. Calculator. Okay. Now it is very, very important that your calculator be in the right mode. So you want to check your mode. If you've got a different calculator at home that you're using, you're going to want to check it before you do your homework. All of the angles we've had so far, you only know one type of angle. What are the units on our angles? What have they been in? Degrees. We haven't gotten to radians yet. You don't know what radians are. So your calculator must be in degree mode. So if you press your mode key, mine is in degree mode. It's the third line down. You want that highlighted degree.
What?
Mode. Mode is right here.
Mode. Yeah, but I can't find that. Degree. Radian, degree, is it right?
Degree is the
Wait, it's supposed to be highlighted?
degree needs to be highlighted. Okay, are we good?
How back is this right one?
Okay, we're going to quit. So we're in degree mode.
Wait.
Oh.
What's the difference?
Between degrees and radians,
Yeah.
you're going to find out in chapter 3 what a radian is.
Now what do I go through after mode?
Third line.
There you go. Ghost just went for yeah. Ghost just went
Okay, we're going to find trig values out 4 places. Back in the day before technology, all of these trig values were in a table that you would look up. But we don't have to do that anymore. So we'll start easy. If I want the sine ratio for a 53 degree, 18-minute angle, all I've got to do is ask the calculator nicely to give me that. And it will tell me what the opposite divided by the hypotenuse, what that ratio is going to come out as a decimal. It won't be in a fraction, it'll be a decimal, that's why they're approximate. So, how do I get that? Type it in, sine, got a sine button, 53 degrees.
I can't read it with your calculator open.
Oh, well, you might want to keep up.
Oh.
I was, but you put the calculator on.
Where's the
18.
degree button again?
Under angle,
You shut up.
minute. Oh, I hit degree again.
I don't mean it.
All of this stuff is on scientific calculators. It's on your phone calculator. If you don't have the graphing, it doesn't have to be a graphing calculator. They all have this capability. So the sine ratio is 0.8018 if I round off. Okay, very easy to do if I give you a sine, cosine, or tangent. You just type it in like you see it, hit enter. You can do those. So I'm going to move on to the challenging one. What happens if I give you something like the secant of a 101 degree angle, 15 minutes? Okay, we don't have secant, cosecant, or cotangent buttons. But we know there's a relationship to secant. What is the relationship that we know?
Sine, cosine.
How does it relate to cosine? It's flipped over. How do I flip cosine over? 2 ways to do it. I can type cosine of 101.15 and then do 1 divided by that answer. Or I can just make the calculator flip it over right off the bat. Remember our identities? 1 over cosine of 101/15. Anytime I see 1 over cosine, I know that that equals secant. So I can type this in. So now I just type in what I wrote down. 1 divided by the cosine of 101 degrees. Nope, it will automatically, because there's only one thing down here, just that cosine value, so I don't need parentheses. If you put them in, it's not wrong. Okay, can anybody tell me why this is coming up negative?
Well, I did not get that.
You didn't get that?
No, I didn't.
What did you type in?
Oh, just kidding.
I'm wrong all the time.
I know what's wrong.
Does anybody know why it's coming up negative? Why is the secant ratio coming up negative?
I got you.
Think about 101 degrees. What quadrant is that in? Quadrant 2, what is secant attached to? X. X is negative in quadrant 2, that's why it's coming up negative. Alright, what if I gave you cotangent of negative 98 degrees? I won't put the minutes on this one. Okay, I don't have a cotangent button, but what's equivalent to cotangent? I'm not quite tan. What do I have to do to tan? Flip it over. So how do I write that out?
So you do
1 over the tan of negative 98. Do I have to make this a positive angle for the calculator to figure it out? No. Did we have to make them positive to read our green sheet? Yeah, because I need to know where to look. Calculator doesn't care whether you put in a positive or a negative. It can find it and do the math. So it's 1 divided by the tan of negative 98. I don't need to put the degree symbol in if it's just a degree, because I'm in degree mode. If I just hit enter right now, I'm good. Did anybody put the degree mark in?
Yeah.
It still gave you the same answer? Yeah. It's not necessary if I don't have any minutes with it. So it'll save you 2 buttons. So 0.1405. Okay. The other thing we're going to do is, given a ratio, find the angle. So, find the angle given the ratio. So we've got, let's say I give you the cosine of some angle is equal to 0.6352. So I want to know what angle has that cosine ratio. And this is just button pushing too. Do you remember from geometry it would have been, last time we did it. What helps us, if we put in the ratio, what gives back an angle?
No, I'm gonna go for cosine of -1.
Yep, these are inverse functions, they undo.
Wait, how did you, did you already,
I haven't done anything yet.
were we given that? Yeah.
This is what you're starting, your goal is to figure out the angle. So what you can do is the inverse cosine on both sides. That inverse is the -1. And what happens is, they undo each other and it leaves theta. So now I've just got to type in the inverse cosine of 0.6352. So that's where it gives back an angle. Inverse cosine 0.6352. 0.6352. There's the decimal, it's a little over 50 degrees, so 50 and a half, 50.56 degrees. I didn't say how far to carry the angle out.
And then we can change it in
50.57.
50.57 degrees. If it asks for degrees in minutes,
33.
we can just go to that angle, go to the DMS, 50 degrees, 33 minutes, 55 seconds it would round to. Which is 50 degrees, 33 minutes, 55 seconds. So whatever the directions say, decimals or degrees, minutes, seconds, you go with that. Okay, very easy to do when it's sine, cosine, and tangent. You just do the inverse. What if it's one or the other one? Oh, very good. So let's go with cosecant is coming out equal to 2.4728. Well, I don't have an inverse cosecant to use. So I need this to be a ratio for a function that I know. So if cosecant is equaling this, what other ratio do I know?
Sine.
What will the sine of this same angle equal? It is 1 over that. I gotta flip this number over, this decimal. I don't care that it's gonna be ugly. I just remember, I know that I can put this over 1. 1 over 2.4728. Now I can do the inverse sine on both sides of this equation. Inverse sine. Inverse sine. So these cancel each other out. Theta equals, now let's just type in the inverse sine of that fraction. Not 1 over the inverse, never ever do 1 over the inverse. It's the inverse sine of the fraction 1 divided by 2.4728. 23.8535. Oh, I went too far. Degrees, doesn't matter. If I want DMS, I just convert to DMS. It would be 13 seconds. Any questions on what happened there? There'll be some formulas. This one formula here that I'm going to do. A physics formula. Grade resistance. Grade resistance. Grade meaning the slope of a hill. So we've got some kind of a hill with an angle. We've got some kind of an object on the hill. And the grade resistance formula is equal to the weight of the object multiplied by the sine of the angle. So W is the weight of the object, and the theta is the angle on the hill.
Everyone else is hearing that, right?
Yeah. So, our example here, if I had a 2,300 pound car, can you find the resistance created?
Yes.
Very easy, plug and chug math. So they'll be giving you other formulas, but it's just, you know, plug the numbers in and let the calculator do the work. So the resistance
They literally are. They're stacked like
Okay? So, how hard is this formula to work with?
Not at all.
Not very. The weight of the object is 2,300. Multiply that by these, oh, I didn't give you the angle of the hill. Well, uphill, let's see. If the hill is 2.7 degrees. So a fairly shallow hill. So all I've got to do is multiply that weight times the sine of the 2.7 degree angle hill. Is it always what? Yes.
Why?
I don't know. You have to ask a physician that one. A physicist that one, not a physician. A physicist. I have no idea. I can do their math, but I don't know why.
That's why I hate math, because I need to know why.
Oh. Then you need to be a scientist. Mathematicians do the math, scientists use the math.
So
Be an actuary.
Yeah.
Be an actuary.
scientist. Yeah, freaking right.
It's like the science behind math.
Wait,
Sorry guys, I'll be a
so, like,
cosmetologist.
resistance, like, what do you mean, like, the,
You know,
That's a physics question that I can't answer. I think it's,
light down? Or
yeah, how much is created on that angle. My guess. I don't know
Wouldn't
physics.
it be assigned because it would be opposite and then it would be how high it is and
It kind of seems like it would be.
how long it is?
Yep. I can't answer any of that. Sorry. So it's 108, and I believe it's pounds of resistance.
Hopefully. See, Taylor might not be. Ew, he texted the group chat that you asked.
Okay,
Already done?
I can't even sit in the library.
you're not allowed to eat in the library.
I'll make you sit with me.
okay, one more example.
And that is it?
Yep, and it's using your circle sheet from yesterday.
Yeah.
So take out your circle sheet, because I know I skipped this yesterday. Not much.
I have like 5 lines.
Plenty. I'm gonna use like 2 of them.
Don't.
You love it? You like
Like, I
that?
didn't get any call this and I'm kind of bummed.
I got one yesterday, actually. I got 2 yesterday,
Why
actually.
was that to me?
Because one was with the sauce in there and not everybody else.
They're cute.
No. Blue. He doesn't call me like a week ago. I was kind of impressed. Mr. Keel.
Okay.
He called me.
We found angles today with a calculator.
He called almost every day asking if he
Nice. You missed.
Oh my god.
What a beauty.
Okay, we could get one of these answers using the calculator. I could do inverse sine on both sides, and the calculator would give me one of the answers that I needed. But because we're using the entire circle, this is kind of an indication that you're supposed to be using your green sheet. So what you're doing, circle sheets are out. I want all values where the sine is coming out equal to square root of 3 over 2. What are you looking for on your sheet to answer this question?
The Y.
Look at the y. What are you looking for?
60 degrees.
So 60 degrees is one of them. Are there any other angles
120 degrees.
that have a positive square root of 3 over 2 as the sine ratio?
30. 300. 120 degrees.
Is she correct with 60 and 120?
Yes.
I wanna say
And
yes.
then 300. 300.
And
That's negative.
No, 240 is negative.
Yes.
300 is positive.
3 should be negative.
Why? Why
Because
would
it's
I-
down, that y value is negative.
It is negative. That's it. That's all.
That is it.
300.
So when you see the interval that's going beyond the full circle, the answers are on your green sheet.
Okay.
wait, I'm confused.
What are you confused on?
Why is it the Y?
Because sine's attached to y. Remember the ordered pair, cosine and sine?
Oh, yeah.
Sine's equal to the y value on the unit circle. Any other questions, Justin? Do you know where it came from?
No.
Do you have your circle sheet out?
I only got 3 pages left.
Let's do one more. Let's go the,
Alright, I got my circle.
this is it. I want all angles of theta where the tangent ratio is coming out equal to -1.
Let me do it.
Okay.
135. Shut up. 135.
And 315.
Good stuff. 135 and 315.
Good job, Lexi.
Okay, if you did inverse tangent on your calculator, it will give you the 135. It will give you the smallest one that has that ratio. It won't come up with the other one. If you want, I can show you. If I did inverse tan, you don't have to write this down, but if I did the inverse tan on both sides, inverse tan of -1, oh, it gives me -45. Where's -45 at? It's giving me the 315. I knew it would give me one of them. I thought it would give me the 135. Okay. No, I'm done.
Yay.
Yay. It's all calculator work today. I'm pretty sure. The assignment's a little bit obnoxious.
No.
Okay.
But it's just for. Oh, that's it?
Oh,
Why
no.
don't you guys want to see that?
It's short. Quit.
Hey, Maggie, flatbread.
20.
Cold cut on flatbread.
And it's actually really good.
Wow.
And
And it gets it toasted, if you wanna know.
4.
And he hasn't come in Subway in like 2 years.
28.
There you go.
Wow.
Wait, did you just see his order?
Yeah. I'm really creeped out right now.
Like if his mom came in there and